All right, so here is part 2 of my video showcasing our Fun Stampers Journey Pan Pastels Confectionery Days. Okay, so in my previous video I showed you how I created this little beauty using Confectionery Days as our background stamp, and in this one I'm going to show you how to make a more simpler card but still stunning. This one here using our Pan Pastels as a background. Super easy. I think you're gonna love it and you're gonna want these if you don't already have them already. Okay, all right, so let's get started. Okay, so you're gonna notice right away that this card is a little bit shorter than your regular A2 size card. And I'll put these here for a comparison. Okay, so you can just, do you wanna hear the truth? Everybody likes to hear the truth, right? So, same width, just different, length. So, you know, you're creating a card and things happen. You try a specific placement and then you don't like it. So, truth be told, I put that placement or that greeting down here and I hated it. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to trim it and make myself a little mini card, and voila. So that's what happened. Anyway, so we're going to attempt to make a regular size card with this being the main focus there in the center. Okay, so again, this is probably the easiest card you'll ever make. All you're doing is creating a pan pastel background and then stamping these little flower images here, doing some first generation and second generation stamping, and then adding a little bit of ribbon and washi tape and a little button. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so for the background, it's kind of one of my favorite things to do is to always use a panel popped up on your card base. And this card is like your regular normal card that has your side fold there, regular A2 size, 5.5 by 4 1/4. Okay, so I'm gonna put that off to the side for a minute. And then this is the panel I'm going to use to create my my sky, I guess you can say. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that there, and I believe I'm using Cool Pool. Let me double check. Oh, nope, I lied to you. I'm actually using Pool Play. These two are very similar, but Cool Pool has a little bit more green added to it, and Pool Play has more of a blue tone, or like a sky. I mean, you can technically use both, but so Pool Play is the one I'm using for the sky background. So I'm just gonna grab a little bit of that, and I'm just gonna do like a swishing, swirling motion. And I'm not trying to cover the whole thing. I just want to get a little bit there. Okay. So I'm going side by side, adding a little bit more where I want some, and then I'm just gonna leave it. That's it. Now, obviously, I put a fingerprint there. I'm the queen of fingerprints, which is okay because I'm going to be stamping on there, so it's not that big a deal. Okay, do you see what I did? It's kind of hard to tell. The camera doesn't really pick it up that well, but you can see it's very faint, a very light kind of swirl of color there. So that is my background, and that is what I'm going to use to stamp all of my flowers and greenery with. Now, I'm using the same stamp set as I used in the other card I made, the Lead Me. Again, such a fabulous, really versatile set because it has all these great greenery pieces that you can just layer to create depth on your card. Now, if you're one of those people that just likes clean and simple, you don't like a lot of frou-frou, maybe this card was a little much for you, then this card that I'm doing right here is fantastic because it's still beautiful, but it doesn't have all that stuff on it. It still has the illusion of depth because we used different shades of green, and we did the second and first generation stamping. So let's go ahead and show you how I did that. So to start off with, I actually used our Sweet Pear, so our lightest color, the one that is kind of in the background. And similar to the previous card that I did, I'm just going to stamp some greenery just kind of all over using some of these different sets in our Sweet Pear. And it will pick up a little bit, but not that much. You may be able to see it, but maybe not. Turn it over that way. Again, you're just kind of doing it at random here and there. And I'm going to pick up a more fuller one with the same color. And let me go right in the center. Maybe I'll go a little bit higher with that one. Okay. Maybe I'll go a little bit off to the side here. Really, when you get at this point, you just want to, whatever space you want to kind of claim for the centerpiece of your flowers, then cover that with some of your lightest color, okay? And the next color I'm going to use is the green olive, which again, they're two of my favorites for this technique. And I'm gonna go ahead and take this little, I don't know what you call that. Anyway, this blade of grass with the little petals coming out. And I'm gonna highlight just a few here and there. Do one here and then maybe one off to the side. I'm gonna break my rule of 3 rule. Okay, and then let me go in with, I'm just gonna put some more solid leaves here at the base to kind of ground it. And I believe I used this set here. And I'm going to do one in the olive green. And just to bring in a little bit of that limeade splash, I'll go ahead and do one off to the side here. And there. All right, so I've kind of brought this here and I've grounded it. Okay, I've given it a base, which helps it to not feel like it's just flowers floating in space. Okay. All right, so we're going to leave that there for now. And something you might not have noticed, if I zoom in or if I bring the card up a little bit, I actually created some flower stems here and here using our blender brush and some re-inkers. So I took our Sweet Pear re-inker and I put a little bit on, I actually put a little bit of Sweet Pear and a little bit of the green olive, and I put it on just a clear acetate sheet. I mean, you can use anything that's non-porous plastic sheet, basically. And I kind of mixed some of the colors together, and I created some stems for my flowers to kind of go to or from. And nothing fancy. Just create some stems. Maybe do one a little higher than another and bring it down. Maybe do one over here. And you know what? When you create these kinds of cards, no, they're not going to be exactly the same. They're just not. So you have to be okay with that. Maybe I'll make this one a little darker. There we go. All right, so now what I've done here is I've created a place for my my big flower blooms to kind of land, all right? Okay, so done with that. And now I'm going to take Watermelon Fusion, which is the only color that I'm using here. Even though you might be able to tell that there's some lighter. So what I did was I used this technique called first and second generation stamping. And basically what that is this, or what that means is this. You get your stamp, I'm using this bloom here. And first generation stamping is you ink up that stamp set, make sure it's good and juicy, and you stamp it like you normally would. There you go. That's first generation. You inked it and stamped it one time, right? Second generation is to take that same one, your same stamp, you're not re-inking, you're just going ahead and stamping somewhere off, and you will notice that it is a lighter shade of that color. That would be second generation. Now, let's say I wanted another bloom, but even more faint than that. Third generation. You probably can barely see that, if you can see it at all. Yeah, I don't even know if it's picking it up. So that would be considered That would be first, second, that'd be third generation. And depending upon the inks that you're using, sometimes you can go up to 5 generations. It just depends. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some more first generation and second. I'm gonna do this one nice and bright. And then this one I'm gonna have as a second generation. There you go. Now I'm gonna do one more first generation bloom. Voila. And now I have stamped all the flowers and leaves that I want to on this card. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my sentiment, and I am using, I believe it is my dark roast, and the sentiment, or the set that I'm using is from our PS Greetings, another one of my favorites, has really, really fun, unique sentiments. Oh, happy day, good luck, lucky sailor, if you can dream it, you can do it, you're nothing short of my everything, you're a sweetheart, hello, I use that one a lot. But this one I'm going to use is the Inspire Creativity. And so PS Greetings has 11 stamps, and it is $19.95, in case you're curious. And we are using, like I said, that Inspire Creativity. Let's see if I can grab it. Voila, there it is. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on my block. I'm going to ink it up using our dark roast, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp it off to the right at the top there. Just right here, because this is where I like it. How about right there? All right, beautiful. Okay, so now I've got that stamped, now I'm ready to add the little extras. Okay, so the extras that I'm using here is some of our, now we call this our journey tape. Now, journey tape is our washi tape, all right? It's fantastic. It comes in a set with 3 different colors. This is from our Bright Day set, and you get 15 yards of each color, and it's $9.95. All right, so I'm just gonna tear a little bit of this right off, and you will notice that it's actually wider than this, but I, let me see if I can pull it off. I wanted a thin strip, so I just cut it in half, which is about that size. And I'm gonna go, you know what, I think I want it there, but I want some more of those stems there. So I'm gonna pause that for a minute. I'm gonna bring in some more stems with my blender pen. See if I can draw out some of those stems. So this stem would go down to here. And let's see, this stem would come down this way. That stem might extend there. 1, 2, 3. Let's just pretend there's another one coming that direction. Just thought it'd be fun to have stems past where the washi tape is coming from. I think that's actually pretty good. And then I will, maybe I'll do some second or third generation stamping. You know what, actually I'm gonna use the sweet pear so that it's light enough. There we go. There we go, I brought that down a little bit. All right, now I'm ready. So I'm gonna take my washi tape and I'm gonna just go right over the center part here. Try to make it straight-ish. And then I'm going to take some of our crimped cocoa powder ribbon. And this is $9.95 for the spool. And it's a really amazing price because you get 20 yards, which that is hard to find. And it's great quality ribbon. So you can do that. And it's our crimped and our cocoa powder. And let's see, grab my shears. And I'm going to cut this one a little bit longer than that, just a tad. There we go. And to adhere this, I'm going to use our white liner tape. All right, so here is our white liner tape. I'm going to get that out of the way. And if you've not used our white liner tape, it is fantastic. It is a double-sided tape, and it's wonderful because you can take it and kind of guess the, I say guess, you get the size that you need, And then it just tears. You can just tear it with your fingernails. It's fantastic with your fingers even. You don't have to have nails. And what you do with this to get it so that it lifts up easy, I mean, you could spend time with your fingernails, and if you pressed it well, you could probably pick it up just fine like that. But sometimes it's not that easy. So I like to use our bloom tool, which if you had to have a tool, this is one I would recommend because it has lots of different attachments here. They attach really easily. You just pull down here and then press that in. It's got two ends. This one usually houses the brush roller. It's great for dies and releasing pieces. But it's got an embossing end. It's got a little spatula and this dental pick, which is fantastic for these purposes. So I've got that. Now I'm going to go ahead and put that there. Okay, and then now I'm ready to attach my little button and my little twine, and then I am done. It is that easy to create a really beautiful card, but really simply without too much fuss. I love that as card makers, creators, crafters, artists, we have lots, there's just so many different styles, right? So you can go from frou-frou or highly embellished and really colorful, and even this probably isn't as much compared to some, to a little bit more simple, a more flat design, but still beautiful. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking our ribbon and I am putting it through these little buttonholes to create a little bow. And I'm using our natural journey twine to do that. Okay. And then I'm going to make the little loop. Does this stress anybody out as you sit here watching me create this bow with these itty bitty little pieces of journey twine? All right, there we go. I hope I'm not stressing you out. I got it. All right, so then once you have your bow, kind of make it fit how you like. Trim it if you need to trim it. And then adhere it right there. And you can use one of our glue dots to adhere that. My glue dots always seem to run away. Maybe one or two of the glue dots, depending upon, I think I'm going to do 2. I like to make sure these little guys stay. I'm one of those people that probably goes overboard on adhesive, and I don't really need to, but I just want to make sure it stays. All right, and then just kind of set it right there. Okay, voila. You have this gorgeous panel that you're gonna now take and adhere to your card base, which, where did my card base run off to? There it is. And you're gonna use it and adhere it with these drain squares, foam squares. So again, sometimes I go overboard, but I don't think I go overboard on this one. Here's what I do. I do 1 foam square on each corner, and sometimes, depending upon the size of the card, I just put 1 in the middle, but usually I will do this. I will do 2 in the middle, kind of evenly spaced out. I just don't like sagging, so that usually takes care of any of the sagging that might occur. So I don't do any more than that normally, but you never know. On a random day, I might just on a whim do something different. Okay, so I've got all those backings taken up, and so now I'm going to place it on my card base. And I'm just going to make sure that it's centered. And yes, you are seeing it correctly. I'm doing white on white. You will notice that this is one of my favorite ways to do a card, is to do a white on white background. All right, so there you go. I did it. So here's the original. Shorter, because remember I didn't like the sentiment down there, but I still wanted to show you, and I didn't want to have to redo it. And then here is the replication of it. Okay, all right. All right, so there is project number 2 that I created with our Confectionery Days Pan Pastels. Again, super easy background that you can do with these amazing pan pastels and with our stamps and ink pads. Again, you can create that fun, fairly flat card with just some pan pastels And really, I mean, we used two sets, but you could have just used this one right here because it's got all the different flower images that you could possibly want. Little leaves and just different varieties of those things. And of course, the sentiments are great too. So anyway, if you have any questions about these amazing Pan Pastels or any of our wonderful Fun Stampers Journey products, then just shoot me up an email, ask me questions below in the little video comment. Again, if you're interested in buying any of the products that I have showcased here, please go to www.funstampersjourney.com/Janice Whiting, and you will find all the information you need to know. You can go to my shop there and get any of the items that you've seen here. I think that's it. I definitely have more videos in store, so subscribe below, like the video if you liked it, and stay tuned for more. All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye.